Hi, this is Kirk with Forex Strategy Secrets, and we're going to be discussing Launchpad, and you'll be amazed to see what is contained in this particular trading system. Jed and I have been trading and teaching for over 14 years, and so we have a lot of experience, and we have hundreds of students that are successful traders. Some of them are actually making tens of thousands of dollars per month and hundreds of pips per week. So we kind of know what people are looking for, and we have methods to help them reach their goals and with confidence and in a small amount of time. But there's some roadblocks that a lot of people, not knowing how to find high probability trades, not knowing when to exit a trade, using systems that are too complicated, trading wrong time frames, stuck on trading one or two currency pairs, not knowing when the market will move, trading always at the wrong time when the market's just going sideways, and trading and learning how to trade while working a full-time job. Those are things that seem to stop people from trading well. So we're going to show you how our Launchpad trading system and how it solves all of these roadblock issues. Now, Launchpad is a simple, but yet it's a highly profitable trading system. We want to show you the first step to a simple, systemized approach to trading. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go right to a chart, and I'm going to show you a little bit about the Launchpad. Okay, this is what you would see on Launchpad. Simple. It is very straightforward. You have 3 indicators and 2 moving averages, which I call one indicator. The two of them together, where they work together, that is basically, to me, one indicator. So very similar to Jumpstart, except it's more powerful. It gives you a lot more confirmation. For example, when the male goes below the zero line or above the zero line, that's when you would be trading, wanting to trade that possible direction. Now, you're going to be most powerful is if you trade in the direction of overall trend. So this is kind of a little retracement. In our complete system, you would be able to know that that is a retracement. But for this example, you have to use time frames. Go to larger time frames and then trade in that direction. But for this illustration, I just want to show you, see that, what that's telling you with that first cross? You have momentum that tells you for 30, 40 pips right there is a good trade. Yet we rested for a while, took off again. You could potentially have gotten out because this was a weekend, this gapped down. So you probably, unless you were in the trade, you would not have experienced anything there. Then this is a Monday, and this is the current day that we're working on right now. Look at this big trade. This happened during the European trading room and continued up until right now for 257 pips. That's on a 1-hour chart. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of other time frames. I'm going to show you the 4-hour chart. The same area. See, that would have given you a trade, the same heads up. See how it looks different, but it's the same heads up. And another trade over here. So this is the area that we looked. This little area up here that the 1-hour gave you a heads up, the 4-hour would not have given you signals. But the next two moves, the 4-hour did give you a move here. You may have stayed in it and captured some of these pips in this gap there. So take the same area again. Now we're going to go to a 30-minute time frame. Right in here where you visually can see it, there was a trade for 100 pips. This was the gap. And then here's the big move that we see that we've seen today. This one actually started back over in here. So the 30-minute was even easier to read and gave you an easy 40, 50 pips. And there. So that's how you would use the Launchpad system as far as visually seeing when to take trades. Now there's a lot of other things that you do to set up to know when to take those trades, but with the confirmation of 3 indicators. So all 3 indicators are telling you that's a direction that you may want to consider trading. Let's just look at one other currency pair. This happens to be a 30-minute. There was a nice trade. Now that's if you're just looking at that one time frame. I'm going to mark this in a box. So what the 30-minute was telling us. This would be an exit area over here. And if you know what Launchpad is, they're giving you exit signals here. This possibly could have been an exit signal, but once you know how to use it, you may have traded through that. Now let's look at these other areas over here. I'm going to mark this box right here. I'm only doing it on the 30-minute. And then we're going to go look at the 1 hour, and this one has a box just automatically going the other direction. These boxes are just marking areas. It's just reference, so that when we go to larger time frames, we can see right what we're doing. So we have a down signal, an up signal, a down signal, and a down signal. Let's see what the 1 hour looks like on that same area. Down signal, potentially up signal, down signal, down signal. See, the 1 hour confirms what that 30-minute is shared with us. Let's look at the 4 hour time frame. It's a down signal and a little bit of an up signal, but then a bigger down signal. So you can get different trades, you might have different entries, but you can take a larger time frame, find the direction that it's going, the trend's going, and then on a smaller time frame only trade in that direction. That would keep you out of some of these retracement moves. How do I know that's a retracement? Well, the pattern tells me this is downtrend right here. So I know that's a retracement. It's a little consolidation. It's a rest, a place the market's resting. And if you were to only take signals in the short direction, when the 4 hour gave you heads up to take signal, then entered on the smaller time frame, that's where you would get some high probability trades. So you can see the power of this very simple trading system. Now we're going to go back and share with you some of the other things that are in the Launchpad trading system. So what does the Launchpad have in it? We show you how to install the alerts. There are 3 different alerts that we show you how to install, and you've seen them. And we trade to show you how to score a trade. Now this is a video showing you how to score the trade. These little highlights that I'm showing right here are the titles of what you'll find in the course material. And how to set stop losses and take profits. How to trade a sideways market. How to find entry and exit signals. Trading with the alerts. Watch a simulated trading video. Notice that we put required. If you know how to do that, you are going to accelerate very quickly in knowing how to trade. This is one thing you need to learn how to do, no matter whether you're a seasoned trader or a brand new trader. You need to learn this so that whatever material you're studying that's new, you can grasp it quickly. Watch that one if you watch nothing else after you get the indicators set up. Okay, then we have a day-by-day fast-track checklist. This is to get accelerated results. Keep you on task, keep you on target, what you should do each day. And you should have amazing results in about 11 days. I'm not saying you're going to be a fantastic, highly profitable trader, but you're certainly going to look at the market in a totally different way. You'll say, hey, I really understand the market moves in cycles. It rests, it takes off, and I see momentum indicators that are giving me heads up. This is just a foundation to build your trading on. Okay, in Module 1, we go into more detail. That first section we showed those videos, that's your overview. That's to kind of get you up to speed very quickly. Because you'll probably need more signals on how to do entries and exit signals, we have longer videos here. In Module 2, finding and managing trades. In Module 3, trends and sideways markets. Support and resistance levels. 5, timing exits and taking your profit. Those are all things we spend a little more time in this area on. Now, Module 6, your trading plan and money management. This is probably one of the most powerful things you can do. It's a trade tracker, and there's a video on it, and right here, this is a PDF. This is what the trade tracker looks like. Very simple. It looks like, oh, that's not anything worth value. This is one of the most powerful things that you can find to determine how good of a trader you are, where you're at right now in your trading, or for your entries. Entered on proper signals. I entered too late. I was chasing trades. I entered based on emotional, fear, greed. These are all reasons that people enter trades. So the way this works is you take a grouping of, notice we have 20 trades right here. Keep track of your wins and losses, and then you know your win-loss ratio. Every time you take a trade based on whatever reason you take it, you put a hashtag, a mark. And you'll notice that after 20 trades, you'll have a grouping of marks entered on proper signals. So if you had 6 or 7 out of 20 entered on proper signals, well, you're doing pretty good. But what if you had 6 or 7 you entered too late? well, you know that's a weakness. That's something you have to work on. But if you don't track this very simple thing, you may not know that every trade you're entering late. You might not see that pattern. Okay, that's the entries. The exits, there are reasons you exit a trade as well. Some of them are the same type of reasons, fear and greed. So you take these things and put marks over here. Then you can kind of see why you're entering and why you're exiting trades. What this will do for you is determine your strengths and your weaknesses. Now, this is so simple you're going to miss it. Because I said you're going to miss it, you're going to listen. Listen to what I'm saying. This is very important. Once you determine what your strengths are, do more of those things. Do not worry about your weaknesses. Concentrate on your strengths. If you concentrate on your weaknesses, you're just going to make those weaknesses stronger. So only concentrate on what you do well. This determines and helps you determine what you do well on entries and exits. There may be two different areas you have to be aware of. Strengths and weaknesses. This is one of the most powerful tools that you can find and use right here. Then in Module 6, Money Management. It goes on to Money Management, Launchpad Trade Journal, a tutorial, and then we have a download for that. It will show you how to print your trades. There are many different ways to print trades. Some people don't know how to do that at this point. Risk and money management and having a trade plan. Now we're in Module 7, where to find when the news is going to take place. How we group our currency pairs. When one European pair moves, chances are there are several out of the 6 or 7, depending on what your broker has, 6 or 7 currency pairs that have the euro in it. There's probably going to be 2 or 3 or 4 of them that are moving. What if it's the Australian or the yen or the pound? So once one of those moving, then you can get in the board with that. But group those currency pairs together. The way that I found that's easiest, and I've done many different ways, is to group your pairs on your market watch alphabetical. For the most part, that will put your pairs in grouping. All the Australians will be at the top, with the exception of the euro and the pound Australian, and they'll be down in the euro and the pound area. But that's grouping. You know that the couple might be out of place. Okay, here is one thing that many people struggle with. What's GMT time? Where do I find it? How do I know where it's at in relation to where I'm at? How do I look at what time and now? And you say there's a webinar, or you say that at this time this happened in the GMT. Here's a chart. I'm going to show it to you, and this is what it is. I've done this based on U.S. time zones only. Daylight Savings Time and Standard Time. Right now we're on Daylight Savings Time. I happen to be in Mountain Time. So I just use this one bar right here. I printed that off, I cut it out, and I paste it right on the top of my monitor. How do I figure that? You can look on your trading platform. See what sometimes the GMT or the way they calculate a little bit different when a new day bar forms. That's what I've done here. When a new day bar forms, I put that as 0 GMT. That is 6 o'clock p.m. my time. And then you can just fill in the rest. It's a GMT is a 24-hour period, and you have, I've put it up 2 12-hour periods on the hour. So I know that the U.S. trading room starts at my time 6:15, Eastern time 8:15. We advertise Eastern 8:15, because most people can relate to Eastern. But I'm in Mountain, so I know that at 6:15 I need to be ready to go if I want to trade during the U.S. session. Easy to read charts versus hard to read charts. Here's a little hint on that. If there's a chart and you can't read and understand what it's talking about, that your skill level's not there, or it is just too volatile for you to figure it out, a couple things you can do. One is go to a different time frame. If you still can't figure it out, don't waste your time trying to force an entry. Wait until it comes to you. Then go back to a larger time frame on that chart, put a mark, an alert, something to let you know that when it reaches this point on this larger time frame, then I want to be aware of trying to figure out entries. But the thing you do is go to another currency pair. If you've looked through all the currency pairs on the trading platform and you're not seeing anything, take a break. do something else for a few hours, come back. The market will set up. It'll be ready to go at some point in time, and then you can get in. Don't try and outguess the market. Don't try and force a trade. Don't try and read things into it that are not there. Just figure some easy things to read and trade with those charts. If it's hard to read, hard to understand, go to another chart. As time passes, like 11 days, you'll start seeing things in the market that you hadn't seen before. Charts will become easier to read that once were hard. Now, it may take you longer than 11 days. It may take you 3-4 weeks to get to that same point. But very quickly, in a currency trader's life, a month is a very short period of time. And if you can get this material into your belt, you'll be amazed at how much you'll know in a very short period of time. How do you get your copy of this Launchpad trading course? Okay, I'm going to show you right now. With Launchpad, you'll get the Launchpad trading course and access to the Gladiator trading room for a period of 30 days. Come and visit with us. Come and see what it's all about. And for only $129. That is a fantastic value. We've sold this on a regular basis for $199, and then we decided to make it more available to people. We've actually sold this for over $600. We have several people, we advertised it for $600, several bought it at $600. We didn't have a webinar, we just advertised it, and they bought it based on what they saw. But because you're here today, we're going to give you a webinar special. You can get this for only $97 if you use this promotion code LPW. That's the promotional code, and there'll be a box when you bring up the place to order LPW in the promotional code. It'll automatically give you the price for $97. If you don't put that code in, you're charged $129. Okay, here's the link. Here's how you can get it. To see how you can upgrade to our complete professional trading course with additional discounts, you can contact Michael. He'll show you how you can have big savings by right now taking the full course material. Or if you feel this is comfort to you, you want to start here, then take the Launchpad price that we have right now for $97. You can contact Michael at forextradingsecrets.com or call him at 801-805-0159. That's his direct line. If he doesn't answer, leave a message. He's probably on the phone. Every time I try and call him on that line and he doesn't answer, it's because he's talking to someone else. But he does get back with people. Leave your email address, leave your Skype address. If you send him an email, leave your phone number or your Skype address. Leave an international number as well. That's https://fig.infusionsoft.com. FIG stands for Freedom Investment Group. That's really the name of our company. And then /APP/order forms /LP-basic-7-6-15. Because of our time constraints, all of us have time constraints. A trade can be missed. Yes, you are going to miss some trades. Everyone's going to miss some trades because you can't stay awake for 24 hours a day. What is an approach to solve this issue? Okay, generally there is a period of time throughout the week that you might have the same amount of the same time period each week that you can trade. Maybe it's for an hour or two right after you get home from work. Maybe it's an hour or two just before you go to work. Pick that same time each day. Look at the charts each day. And then there will be trades that will be set up. Use a larger time frame. Don't be trading on the 30 and 15 and 5-minute time frames if you only have an hour or two a day to trade. You need to be trading on the day and 4 hour as a minimum. You can time your trades on the 1 hour, but sometime during that week you're going to get a 1 hour setup that will happen during the time that you're able to trade. So if you trade the larger time frames, you'll be able to do that. is what happens for the 8 or 10 hours that you're away from a computer. Well, the market's moving. You come back. Did those setups happen, the ones you were looking for? We talk a lot about creating watch lists. In our trading room, we have watch lists that we talk about all the time. When this certain setup happens, when the 5 alarm, and the 5 alarm is talked about in our complete course. It's not in Launchpad, but a Launchpad has well, we call it a scoring system. In Launchpad, it's a scoring system. So you score the trades. Let me tell you what the scores would be. We have 222. That would be a top score for a trade. A 122 would also be good. But if you don't have a 2-2 on the last two, if you have a 2-1-1, you don't want to take it because it's going sideways. The top trade can be a 1, but you need the top time frame. But the bottom 2 time frames need to be 2-2. Not just 1-2, but both of them need to be 2. Then you're trading in the direction of the trend. So you score the trade, and when you get the 2-2-2 or the 1-2-2, then that's the time that you could consider taking a trade. And you have to be aware that you don't just automatically take a trade just because those numbers match up. You take a trade if everything you know matches up. Those numbers are confirming and pointing you in that direction. So that's how you take trades. You're going to miss trades. Don't worry about that. In the beginning, I used to worry about all the trades I missed. But you think about it, how many trades are happening during the time that you can trade. When getting into one time frame on an entry, do you exit using the same time frame or use another? Use a smaller time frame. Many times you want to use at least the time frame that you entered on as your management time frame. Occasionally, if you know what you're doing, you can use a smaller time frame. But say, for example, you had the 1 day, the 4 hour, and the 1 hour. You entered on that 1 hour time frame. You probably would want to at least manage it on that 1 hour time frame, or you could move and manage it up on the 4 hour time frame. If you're not going to be there to watch it, I wouldn't manage it on a smaller time frame. Always manage it at least on the time frame you entered it on. That's my opinion. If you're going to be there, yes, then you know what you're doing. You consider you can use a smaller time frame to time your entry. If you go to a smaller time frame, you're there. Many times you can see that the market is starting to turn, and that would get you into a better exit. But that's only if you know what you're doing. How do you know what you're doing? You take 20 trades and find out what your strengths and weaknesses are. You do simulated trading. In just a few short days, you can start seeing what needs to be done, what the market's doing. Many times on a smaller time frame, it'll look like it's getting ready to take you out, and then it continues on and gives you another 30, 40, 50 pips. Because if you'd stayed on the time frame you entered on, you would have made more pips. Do you always use bars for entry and exits that are fully drawn, or do you use the ones currently being drawn or formed? If you use the larger time frame, like the day, the 1 hour, the day, the 4 hour, and 1 hour, that 1 hour, as soon as it starts to form, if the two larger time frames score out properly, if you have a 2-2 and the 1 hour all of a sudden hits a 2, I enter. If the larger time frames are not totally in agreement with one another, you might want to wait until the bar, everything gives you the signal, and even wait till it closes, or wait, when one closes, the next one opens, and then if that one's ready to go, then that's when you would enter. It might look like you're entering on the closed bar, but you're actually entering on the open of a new bar. If the larger time frames are giving you proper signals, then trade in that direction. If the larger time frames are not in agreement, then I would not even enter on a fully formed bar on the smaller one. Complete professional trading course. It's called Nth Degree. Then that's the thing you want to talk to Michael about, because that's really where you want to go if you're serious about our material is what you want to use it to take you to where you want to go, because we know that it will take you there if you apply and learn the material. The reason we know that, it seems like all the time I think I know everybody that's successful in our course material. All of a sudden 3 or 4 people start reporting how well they've been doing, and it's because they don't have a time frame that meets when I'm usually in webinars or talking to other people, and when somebody else is doing a webinar, and all of a sudden I meet them and find out they're doing extremely well using our system. Or Michael reports to me how well someone's doing, but I'm guessing it's in the hundreds of people that are successful.
This offering that you're making is actually the first part of our professional traders course. So it's not like you're buying something here that isn't going to lead you eventually to becoming a professional trader. You can get this material later on if you have to, but I think the significant thing here is that you're making this accessible, now this first part of our trading course, accessible to more students, those who don't have a lot of money to begin trading. So this is part of the Nth Degree system. It's the foundational training part of Nth Degree. Yeah, it's a really good thing. We've had students that have made good money just using this. They are more rare than those students who are making good money with the Nth Degree system.
I do see one. That's what I'm talking about as far as setting your profit, take profits out, or giving it room to move. Right in here, can you see where the 30-minute kind of retraced a little bit, went sideways? In fact, I think I'll put an X on it. That's the area that we're wanting to look at, but we're going to look at it now on a 1-hour chart. You can see what the 1 hour did. Yes, it did go sideways, and you may or may not have wanted to get out of that, but let's look at the 4 hour. See, once it started, you could have traded all the way through that whole move. And from right where we marked it down to where the price is currently, now let's go back and look at the 1 hour. Now you see what the 4 hour looks like. That's managed it on a larger time frame. See, the 1 hour even said that you might want to consider getting out here. The 4 hour had you trade the full length. Okay, here's the part of an answer to a question. Using smaller time frames, you find out the exits sooner. Okay, I think that's okay, but let it run long enough to justify doing that. Okay, what is a trend? You can see this is a trend on a 4 hour chart. We didn't know what it was going to be like on this bar right here. It opened, closed lower. It opened, closed lower. Opened, closed lower. Opened, closed lower. Opened, closed lower. Opened, closed higher. That's a sign that someplace in here you may want to consider exiting. So that's why when it comes back, you notice that this bar, it didn't come back even 50% on the previous bar. This one did come back. So you have to decide, well, I'm going to take out, exit at everything that's 50% or less. It came back then and took off. But after it's gone a few bars, few time frames, and from clear up in here down to here, that's 90 to 100 pips. Start getting out 80, 90 pips, and you're trading the 4 hour chart, you may want to start looking for exits. Now, I've seen 4 hour charts go 150, 200 pips. It's a matter of skill and experience, and you can get that quickly by doing simulated trading. So that's a little bit of extra information there. A trend, this is a trend. After you get a couple of bars, closing lower than open, closing lower than the open, closing lower than the open, that's kind of a downtrend. And it kept it up for a couple more bars, and then it stopped. There's no number. Sometimes they'll go 5 or 6, 10 bars. Sometimes they go 1 or 2. This one, it closed right the same. So this closed higher, higher, the same, lower. So this retracement was less than the overall direction of that trend. And as we have looked at it before, we can tell that's a trend. By the time we get down to this area, we know that the trend overall is going down. Always realize that you're going to have some corrective areas, and this indicator really marks those very well. with the price bars and the momentum on the other indicator, you can kind of get a feel for that.